How's it going, guys? Welcome to a very, very special video. It kind of is in a way, because I actually never really do behind the scenes stuff. So I figured I'd show you the behind the scenes on the audio production of the show. As you know, I'm the writer of the show, and I say writer like that because I'll explain why in a second. I also voice Frisk, Papyrus, a bunch of other characters, and technically I voiced every character at some point. Just realized I didn't change the background. That's my upcoming game, by the way. Shameless promotion. Now, I have played Undertale. I've played 3 runs of it. Neutral, Genocide, and Pacifist. Pretty much what you see on the screen and the audio represents my feelings towards the game and the characters. Originally, I was only penned for 10 episodes. That's why you'll notice at the end things do go very fast, because I realized how much I had to fit into these 10 episodes. Anyway, enough of me jabbering on. Let's get to the main reason why you're watching this video. So let's do it. Whee! If there's one thing I've never really been a big fan of, it's script writing. I would say 90% of things that I've done or will do will be improvised. I do not like writing scripts. So to demonstrate this process that I do, I'm going to improvise a scene for you right now. So right now, an idea, Sans can tell another one of his dumb skeleton jokes. This scene will include Papyrus, Sans, and Frisk. Hi, Sans! How's it going, buddy old Pally McGee? Yeah, not too bad, mate. Here, what do you call a skeleton that doesn't go to work? A lazy bones. Nah, mate, a suicide victim. Oh, that was brutal. And there's our scene. First things first, we gotta label the tracks. You don't have to, but it's really good for keeping track of where everyone's characters are, especially for really long audio and episodes. And it's pretty much essential for the way I go about doing stuff, which I'll show you soon. Right now, I finished our recording, but I feel like I want to add Frisk in at the start, so I'll just add in a line for him. Oh god, is that what I think it is? So I got the idea of, like, he sees Papyrus coming, and now I can cut off the Hi, Sans! Instead of Hi, Sans, I can just change that now to Hi, buddies! Now it works with my line a lot more. And again, I want to change it, so that's not cool, man. Put that in for Frisk. Now, a lot of the sound effects were added by SmashBits, so I only tend to add ambience and sound effects that I really think should be in there. That sounds good, that sounds perfect, so we'll add that in. Seeing as it's an Undertale video, we're obviously going to be using the Undertale soundtrack, which is actually a really awesome soundtrack, so props to you, Mr. Toby Fox. So we've got the voices, the ambience, and the music, so let's give it a listen. A suicide victim. That's not cool, man. Now, I thought that pause should be longer, so we just move the clip. Boom. That's not cool, man. And there you go, there's our little scene. Then what I'll do is I will render the track. I'll probably call it Undertale clip Sans placeholder. Then I send that to Will, who voices Sans, and he basically just voices over what I did with his own interpretation, of course. So every episode, I did every single voice at some point in time, and then somebody just voiced over what I did. It's a strange process, but it works for me, and I like it. As an example, though, I can show you the difference between. So here's my original track for Sans. The old whoopee cushion in my hand trick. Oh, never mind. That was just me. I shat myself. Yeah, good thing I wear diapers though, innit? As you can see, Will has synced up his voice to my voice. So if I mute this now.
The old whoopee cushion in my hands trick. Oh, never mind. That was just me. I shat myself. Yeah, good thing I wear diapers then, ain't it?
So here's my track as a child, so if I put them together, that smells so bad.
Yeah, good thing I wear diapers then, ain't it?
You're proper weird. Last thing I always do is add an echo on it. Oh god, is that what I think it is? Hi, buddies! Yeah, it is. How's it going? And now let's listen to the finished product. Here we go. Oh god, is that what I think it is? Hi, buddies! Yeah, it is. How's it going, buddy old Pally McGee? Yeah, not too bad, mate. Here, what do you call a skeleton that doesn't go to work? A lazy bones. Nah, mate, a suicide victim. That's not cool, man. And there we go. Hope that was interesting. I had a lot of fun doing this, but I'm gonna end this video with a nice bit of trivia for you and facts to do with the show. Trivia! The voice for Flowey was actually inspired by my stream that I did. I did Azriel's voice like,
Gonna do a great job, okay? You are gonna be one of the best IT technicians of this generation.
And I figured, you know, he's Flowey, he is Azriel, so let's just keep the voice. You may notice that there are a few giraffe jokes in this, and it's a reference to a video that I did before this one. It's an animation where the intro is somewhat similar. Still, you're talking flower, I mean. Yeah, what are you, a small giraffe? I'm actually a genderless child. What does that even mean? But it's more about Frisk's gender. Bit of trivia for you, that laugh is actually legit. I burst out laughing. Unfortunately, I haven't got the original clip of that. But yeah, I just thought I'd keep that laughing because it was pretty funny.
You know, me brother's never seen a human before, aside from porn, of course.
A lot of people seem to think that Sans is Scottish or Irish. He's actually got an English accent. It's a Birmingham accent. Where I grew up in the West Midlands, it's a pretty common occurrence. You're right, my name is Dexter Manning and I sound like this. Quite a slurry, slow accent. It's pretty great in my opinion. I'm hungry as balls, man. What's funny about Frisk on this Undertale animation is that he's always hungry. hungry. This actually reflects my feelings at the time. Early in April, May, around when I started doing this, I was trying to lose a lot of weight. So I was going to the gym every day and I wasn't eating a lot. I just felt hungry 24/7. So it pretty much reflects how I felt every time I was recording, which actually did pay off. I lost a lot of weight and then I put it all back on again. Great. There are some parts in the video that are completely the animator's idea. When it comes to directing an episode like this, I pretty much do a DVD type style commentary, so I'll just say exactly what's happening. I'm not a giraffe! Originally, the show was going to be in episodes. I did 10 episodes worth. I'm pretty sure you can tell when you're watching it where they were supposed to cut off, but SmashBits decided to put them into 3 parts, which in my opinion was a great decision. You're really good at this.
How is he dodging my attacks like this?
You may notice that Frisk takes out a phone while fighting Papyrus. Originally, the child had no phone whatsoever until Alphys gives him it. And when I saw this, I was kind of like, oh no, he hasn't got a phone later on. And that was when I realized, you know what, it doesn't matter. And like I said, it's non-canon, it doesn't really matter what's happening.
Shut up! Oh my! Oh!
When Papyrus dies, he stumbles and falls off the cliff. On my original audio description, I'm pretty sure I said that Frisk pushes Papyrus. Punch him, or kick him, or push him, whatever works animation-wise. Either way, Papyrus needs to fall off a cliff. But you actually never see Frisk push him on the animation. That's why Frisk asks, if I didn't push you, don't say anything! Because in the original audio, in my mind, he had pushed him off the edge. So in the animation version, technically, he just killed himself by accident. So as far as I know, the animators couldn't find a model for Monster Kid. And when I played the game, to me, he just looked like Scraggy. So I just said, use Scraggy. And that's why Scraggy's in there. So do you own this store, or...? Yeah? The scene in which Frisk goes into the shop, and there's a small little turtle there. Originally, he just leaned over the counter and stole all the food, then left. And I did ask them to change that in my notes when they sent me the draft version. Apparently, that never happened, though. That's why Frisk stands there for 3 seconds, and it just cuts to him walking outside the shop. I don't know why that got changed, but the original scene was supposed to be different to that one. You see, when I was at school, I had a teacher, and she taught me, you should never judge someone based on the way they speak. That little speech that Frisk does about you should never judge people by the way they speak, is actually kind of a true story. I did have a teacher tell me that. We had this proper brummy kid when we were at school. His voice was like, you know it's my name is Dad! And people would always laugh at him and make fun of him. And I always remember the teacher saying, you shouldn't make fun of or judge people on where they speak because they can't help where they're brought up and where they're born. And I've always had that philosophy ever since. Well, for the most part. The rhino part isn't true though. There was definitely not a rhino child in my class. And the last bit of trivia for you. The reason why I did a neutral run was because this was based on my first time playing through Undertale. When I played the pacifist run, I liked the characters more. I actually liked Papyrus and I did like Undyne after. But my first time playing through, I hated them. So I figured for this show, I'll do a neutral run. And hey, who knows? Maybe in the future there'll be a, you know, somewhat of a pacifist run. But that's my behind the scenes video. I hope it was entertaining, but make sure to follow all the people down below, all the voice actors, the animators, SmashBits themselves, and you can follow me on Twitter and all my social media stuff, and that will be at the end here, I guess. Hope you enjoy my future projects, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.